Hello, welcome back to the channel. Right, today I have for you from Leyi, which is the pocket money range version of 12 Go, I suppose you can look at it that way. I have the 251. Now, I have reviewed a 251 before and I absolutely butchered the full name, so I'm not even going to attempt it here. But so this will be the 251. It also comes with a little artillery piece, just like the one from Sluban that I reviewed about a year or so ago. And I will be referencing that video a couple of times as these are direct competitors in the market. So, usual format, 60-second speed build, some pics, and then a review. Let's crack on and build. Welcome back. Right, now, as this is Leyi, you get a sheet of paper. It's as confusing as most of these that if you've done any of these before, you know that they don't always follow a linear pattern across the page. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down, sometimes they go, well, wherever. It's like with most of these, it's pretty much a case of you get it done despite these. These will just give you a vague idea of what to do next, and hopefully you won't miss too many steps or get the steps out of order or whatever. But yeah, now, nothing warped, nothing discoloured. There were 2 bits missing, and I'm going to do this perhaps slightly out of kilter, but it's to do with the gun itself. There was supposed to be 2 small hinges which allowed these protective plates to attach to the gun, because they're supposed to be ever so slightly angled out, and so rather than being flat like here, they're supposed to be angled slightly out and slightly up or down, whichever way you want to look at it. Now, fortunately, because Leyi have followed perhaps a more standard pattern of building where the gun is last, by the time I've got to doing this, I have got spare pieces left. So I had 2 sort of L-shaped bricks there, which were plenty fine for adding the plates on the front. Now, one thing it has done though is it has changed the centre of balance on this, so it's a little bit difficult to show you on the camera here, but essentially it's raised it up so with the arms at the back here, the towing arms, if you have them spread too far, it now will just drop forward. It's not going to do it by hand, obviously, because that's where the centre of balance now takes it. So you do have to keep these towing arms relatively close together, or attached to the back of the 251 to stop it doing that. But I have to say, in comparison to the Sluban gun, I do actually prefer this. It's far more accurate than the Sluban one was, and I am going to be referencing that particular model by Sluban, so you might want to actually go back and watch that to understand where I'm coming from on a lot of these bits and pieces. Now, the actual unit itself is reasonably good, actually. It's you've seen that I've had plenty of issues with Leyi models before being built and thrown together by somebody who very clearly doesn't really know what they're doing and not quality controlled or checked in any way whatsoever. This strikes me as it being somebody's third or fourth model where they've actually started to learn a few bits and pieces, possibly from feedback that they've been given or something like that, or more familiarity with the design program that they are using. This actually built fairly well, I have to say. Now, underneath there's very little there, but I do like to see the Techniques bricks, especially with any sort of track vehicle. It does hold it a lot more securely. Although bizarrely, because you've got this is a 2x2 sort of double-sided axle, it did end up actually giving it some form of suspension, which was probably highly unintentional, but worked actually quite well. As any pressure you put down, it just floats out the side. And yeah, so that was quite nice. Building it is not too bad. It's the biggest problem you're going to have building this is the instructions and trying to work out which bit is next and which pieces are actually going anywhere. Now, one of the big differences between this and the Sluban version, because they are the same size, so they are directly comparable, is in the level of detail. Now, I wasn't thrilled with the Sluban one. It was about as basic as you can get, and I do appreciate that every model obviously has a budget that you're going to be working to. You know, they want to sell it for so much, you have X amount of bricks, etc., to model this particular thing, and there has to be enough overhead for them to make some sort of profit, and then that's absolutely fine. That's how these things work, and I have no issue with that, providing that enough time and effort has actually been put into designing the original thing itself. And that's where I think there's so many, particularly models in the sort of pocket money price sort of range, go horribly wrong. And unfortunately, Leyi have been right in the middle of that horribly going wrong. I mean, this is the 7th or 8th model I've reviewed by them, and this is only the second one that I could say is anywhere near half decent for the price. Now, this landed to the UK, came in at £6.34, which is, I think, it's an excellent deal. Certainly in comparison to the Sluban one, which was £9. This has a lot more detail to it. Good use of stickers to enhance that detail. Did like the little bits and pieces, the shovel, the pick on the sides, that type of thing. That big cross at the front I didn't think was great. I could have done without that, and I certainly couldn't find any historical pictures where anything like that was included. So you got the vents up there, perhaps cut it and not bother with that. But level of detail is not bad at all. Now, there is as I mentioned on the previous the video, the 251 for Sluban, Mold King do a big version of one of these things. Now, I can't get hold of that because it only, the places where I found it in stock will only send that either to the EU, which the UK is not in anymore, or North America. So a bit stuffed on that one, but I really would like to get hold of one of those one day and to compare. Now, inside here, inside the actual unit itself, basically it's completely bare. There is no detail there whatsoever. But if you want, and it does come with one minifigure, but if you wanted to put a load of minifigures in there, that actually does work out quite nicely, so I'm not going to penalise them for that. What I will penalise them for is the gun that they provided that's supposed to go in there. Now, to all intents and purposes, it looks like a automatic grenade launcher, a modern automatic grenade launcher, something you'd find on a Mastiff, for instance, or a Cougar, or something of that sort of nature, where this should be an MG34 or an MG42 or something like that. So I've not put the gun on there because I'm not doing that to myself. That would wind me up. But overall, I have to say, and certainly for £6.34, this isn't too bad. This is no Leyi Katusha, which is still the only one that I would hands down highly recommend, but it is a step up from most of their models. So while I'm not saying to you, you must rush out and buy this, if you have kids, grandkids that are into the military modelling side of things, this isn't too bad. You know, providing they've got a little bit of skill and can quite happily sit there and read the hideous instruction sheet, or perhaps you can help them, then yeah, this is not bad at all. So there we go. That's the 251 from Leyi. It's certainly not the best, but it is better than some of the rivals. It is at least a step, or in my opinion, a step in the right direction. And hopefully, at this rate, in a year or two, we might actually be able to recommend some Leyi models without any doubts. But it's okay. It's quite good value. The level of detail is reasonably good. There were a couple of bits missing, but the instructions are absolutely hideous. But apart from that, it might be worth a punt. Alright, so there we go. That's a review for the 251 from Leyi. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you again. You take care. Bye bye.